Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope everybody's doing well. Are you preparing for your next beach getaway or a cruise? And are you thinking about what necklaces to wear? Well, don't worry, because today we're going to make 3 beachy necklaces, and we're going to use the beads that came in the Curated Bead box for the month of June. Now, if you're not familiar with that box, I'll leave some information down below in the description section of this video, along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. As you can see, these necklaces feature some pretty glass beads, strung on nylon cord, with some adorable ocean-themed pendants. All 3 are super easy to make and very appropriate for your next getaway. And don't forget that I always model my necklaces at the end of my tutorials, so please stick around for that. And I'm super excited about showing you how to make these, so let's go ahead and get started. And here we have the Curated Bead box for the month of June 2024. The name of this box is Sea and Sand. It had lots of beads of all different sizes and a large turtle pendant. But when I saw the small charms, I just couldn't resist them. I decided to make necklaces because although the charms were relatively small, they were a little bit too heavy and too big for anklets. But they're the perfect size for beachy necklaces that sit at the collarbone. So let's go ahead and select the materials. Here are the materials for today's project. As you can see, I have some beads. I have a Starfish charm and 1 4mm jump ring. Now these 2 metal beads are from my own stash. They're just spacer beads and they're 4mm in size. These are Crackle beads. These came on a strand. They're clear as you can see, and they measure 6mm in size. And these are Rondelles. They measure 6 by 4mm. They were part of a bead mix. I'm only going to use 6 of them. Here's the bead mix. As you can see, they all have the silver band, and some are barrel shaped and some are rondelle shaped. And this pendant measures about 15 by 15mm, not counting the loop. In any case, I'm going to leave a list of all the materials down below in the description section. I'll leave the sizes and the shapes and everything. To string the beads, I'm going to use some nylon cord. It's satin nylon cord, and it's 1mm in diameter, and the color is silver. And I will be using some jump rings, a lobster clasp, and some clamshell covers, but I'll bring those out later on. Now the way that I'm going to do this today, it's a little bit different than what you might have seen. I'm going to be using a needle, and I'll explain how in a few moments. But as you can see, I've created a loop using fireline, and this is very thin fireline. It's 6-pound fireline. But as you can see, I've created a little knot there, and I pulled it pretty tight to make the knot as small as possible. But anyway, you'll see how I use it in just a few moments. We're going to be doing some knotting today, so you're going to need some kind of tool, either needle nose pliers or these tweezers. These are jewelry tweezers. I got these on Amazon. They have a very thin tip and they're made out of stainless steel. If you don't have them, you can use some needle nose pliers. I've done that before. Before we start, I do want to attach the jump ring to the charm. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to open it up. Slide the charm into it. I'm saying charm, but I'm actually using it as a pendant today. And let me close it up. Now my necklace is not going to be very long. I want it to be about 17 inches long because I want it to sit at the collarbone, but you can make yours as long as you want to. Keep in mind that the jump rings and the clasp are going to add to the length. I've cut myself a 60-inch piece. The first thing I'm going to do is to feed one of these ends through my loop of this fireline. As you can see, I have it at this end. I'm going to bring my ends together because now I need to find the center. And now let me bring this end here, like this. And I'm going to place it down. So once again, I have the bent end at this end, and I have these 2 ends, the one with the 2 cut ends and the one with the fold. I hope that makes sense. So this is the center of my cord. And now I'm going to measure 4 inches. So that's 4 inches right there. Let me just pick it up. flip it around. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, okay? I'm just going to do a knot right here. So I'm feeding the ends through the loop. And there's my knot. So once again, I have the needle at this end. I have my knot, and then I have the 2 loose ends here. I'm going to start by picking up one of these metal spacer beads, like this, bring it down, and now I'm going to go ahead and pull and feed the cord through the hole of the spacer bead and bring it down. So there's my first bead. Let me just put this off to the side for the time being. And now I'm going to slide on 2 of these Crackle beads. Slide them down. So here they are up against my spacer bead, and now I'm going to create a knot. So I'm going to make a loop. Take my needle and go through the loop. And now using these tweezers, I'm going to go through the loop and I'm going to grab the cord right up against the bead like this. And now I'm going to pull, remove my tweezers, and slide that knot down. What I like to do now is to pull on each of these cords to make it nice and tight. And that's what we have so far. Pretty easy, not complicated at all. You do want to make sure that your needle is at the end like this. In other words, you don't want your needle to be here, for example. So now I'm going to slide on one of these green beads. There it is. And now I'm going to create another knot. So I'm making a loop. I'm going to take my needle and go through the loop and pull. Take my tweezers, grab the cord, the 2 cords that are up against the bead like this. And now I'm going to pull this end. Let me slide that knot down. And I'm going to pull on each one. So now that bead's in place. And now let me pick up 2 of these. It's difficult to see the holes in these because they're clear. Slide them down. Like that. Make a loop. Pass my needle through the loop. Grab the cord, the 2 cords, like this, and pull. Slide that knot down. And now I'm going to pull each cord. And that's what we have so far. Let me pick up a green bead now. Slide it down. Sometimes this happens. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's no big deal. You just have to pull that cord. So now I'm going to create a loop. Take my needle, go through the loop from underneath like this. Take the tweezers, go through the loop, and then grab the 2 cords right up against the bead like this. And pull. Slide the tweezers out and slide that knot down. I don't know if you guys can see, I'm just doing this. And now let me go ahead and pull on each cord to tighten that knot. So that's what we have so far. It's very, very easy, guys. It really is. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera so the video isn't too long. Let me pick up 2 of these. Slide them onto the cord, like that. Make a loop. Go through the loop with my needle from underneath and pull. Grab the 2 cords with my tweezers and pull. Slide that knot down. And now let me pull on each end. And this is what we have so far. I'm actually going to do one more because I need to show you how to attach the pendant. So let me go ahead and do that. Here's the pendant. And by the way, I'm sure you can see the pattern. I have 2 round beads, 1 rondelle, 2 round beads, 1 rondelle, 2 round beads, and so on and so forth. Let me go ahead and load a green bead first. Slide it down, make a loop. Let me do that again. Go through the bottom, grab the 2 cords above the bead and pull. Slide the knot down, pull on each end, and now I'm going to load 1 bead and the pendant, and another bead. Let me slide them down and then I'll show you. There it is, as you can see. The pendant is sitting between those 2 crackle beads. So now I'm going to make a loop. Go through the loop with my needle. Go through the loop with my tweezers and grab the 2 cords right by the bead and pull. Slide the knot down, pull on each end, and that's what we have so far. Isn't that adorable? I love that pendant. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep going. One thing I do want to mention, some of the crackle beads do have small holes. For the most part, if you use the needle and loop technique like I'm showing you, you shouldn't have any problems. But if you happen to come across a bead that has a very small hole, you should just go ahead and swap it out. These beads are not that uniform, they're kind of irregular, and some holes are bigger than others. And of course, it helps if you use 6-pound fireline or something thinner. You don't want to use fireline that's thicker than that. So anyway, let me keep going. I'm going to finish this necklace. I'm just going to go ahead and load the rest of the beads. And then when I come back, we'll finish off the ends and add the clasp. So I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I strung on all the beads. This is the end where the needle is. And I ended with metal bead, as you can see. And of course, I knotted it off as well. Now you may notice that it's not completely straight. That's because I did the knots really tight on purpose. This necklace actually stretches with time. But once you finish your knotting, you should give it a good stretch. Just like that. So now we're going to go ahead and finish it off with the clamshell covers. I have 2 of them here. I like to open them up like this. I'm going to start with the end that has the needle. I'm going to measure 4.5 inches, which is about here. And I'm going to form a loop. I'm passing my needle through the loop and pulling it, but I'm not going to form a knot just yet because I want to be precise now. Let me make sure this is straight. And let me see where 4.5 inches is. It's about right there. So I'm going to grab these two cords that are sitting on top like this. And let me pull these two pieces over. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull. And that should be 4.5 inches right there. Let me double check. It's actually a little bit more, it's 4 3/4, but that's okay because I'm going to make the other side 4 3/4 as well. So now I'm going to go through the back of this clamshell cover like this. And I'm going to slide it down my cord. Let's see if it'll go through. There it goes. You want to make sure that it's up against your knot like this. Let me go ahead and cut the cord. And I'm going to form a simple knot. Now you don't want to do a square knot because it's too bulky and there's not enough room in there. But I'm going to melt the ends and that's going to make it real secure, I promise you. You don't want to add glue either. Let me go ahead and trim it. I'm going to leave a little tail. Like that. Let me grab it with my pliers so I don't burn myself. I have a finger protector. These are actually used for hot glue work. Let me go ahead and melt it. And now I've got to do the other end. But I'm going to pull it out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And now let me go ahead and melt it. And now I'm going to close this clamshell cover. And bend this piece of metal back. And there it is, guys. It can't get any easier than that. So now with my round nose pliers, I'm going to form a loop. I want to make sure that loop is closed. Just like that. Very, very easy. So now I'm going to do the other side. Now this side's going to be a little bit more challenging because we have two loose ends versus a loop. So what I'm going to do is melt them to try to stiffen them up a little bit. As you can see, I'm protecting my thumb and my index finger this time. Let me do it again. And now let me do this side. So I'm going to measure 4 3/4 inches. And that's pretty good. That's exactly 4 3/4 inches. So now I'm going to feed one end through the clamshell cover. I'm going in through the back, like this. And now let me do this end. But before I do, I need to pull on this cord to make that opening as big as possible. Let's see if it'll go through. Let me see if I can grab it. That wasn't too bad. But there it is, guys, okay? You don't want to use cord that's more than 1 millimeter thick because it just won't work. So now I'm going to make the knot. So this one's done. Isn't it cute? I love it. Let me stretch it again a little bit more. Here I have 2 jump rings and a lobster clasp. I think the jump rings measure 5.5 millimeters. I'm also going to add an extended chain. This one's 2 inches long, and I like to embellish my extended chains. So here I have a ball head pin, and I have one of these rondelles and a size 8/0 seed bead. And the reason I have a size 8/0 seed bead there is because the holes of the rondelles are pretty big, and I don't want the ball of the ball head pin to slide through. So now I'm going to grab the pin with my round nose pliers like this, bend it, switch to this part of the pin, wrap the tail around the nose, flip the pliers around, and continue to wrap to the back. And now I'm going to open up this loop like this, slide my chain into it, like this. I'm going to grab the loop with these pliers. These are actually crimping pliers, but they have skinny tips and they grab really well. And now using these pliers, I'm going to grab the tail and do some wraps. You can do as many wraps as you want to. I think I'll do 3. And now let me trim it off. And I'm going to tuck that little tail in. So there's my extended chain. I think it looks really cute. Let me go ahead and open up one of these jump rings. Slide the clasp into it. Whoops. Like that. I generally put it on the right side, so the right side is this side. And let me close it up. So there's my clasp. And now I'm going to open up this jump ring. Slide the chain into it, like that. Slide the jump ring into the loop of this clamshell cover, like that, and close it. Make sure it's closed properly. So this is my finished starfish necklace, and I think it's absolutely adorable. I hope you like it as well. Now I'm not going to show you how to make the other two because it's the same process over and over, but I do want to show them to you. Here's the one with the turtle, and this one has blue disc beads, the green barrel beads, and the Rondelle beads as well. Let me stretch it. As you can see, I added the turtle in between these two knots in the center, and I also added the spacer beads at the end, and I did add an extended chain as well, which is all tangled up here. I'm not sure why. Let me untangle it. There it is. This one's really cute too. I love the colors. Let me just move this up a little. I want you to see the bead pattern. It's basically a disc, a barrel bead, a disc, and a knot. A rondelle and a knot. Disc, barrel, disc, knot, rondelle, knot. Disc, barrel, disc, knot, rondelle, knot. And so on and so forth. And here's the third one. This one has the carry shell, and there's actually no knotting in between the beads. There's only a knot at the end, at each end, as you can see. And I added a jump ring to the carry shell. It actually came drilled, which is nice. I think that jump ring is about 7 millimeters big. I had to use a big one in order to get it through like this. But anyway, this one's really nice as well. I think all three are cute. I love these green beads. They're actually drilled off center, which causes them to be staggered like that, which I think looks really nice. But as you can see, I have 3 in a row, then a rondelle, one of these aqua colored discs, a rondelle, 3 green ones, rondelle, aqua, rondelle, 3 green ones, and so on. And by the way, the disc beads came in another bead mix that came in the box. This month's box came with 2 bead mixes, plus a whole bag of these carry shells. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I certainly did. I had a lot of fun. I really like these necklaces. I hope you can make your own. And I do want to model them for you, so please stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.